Right now at 6, a wild day of breaking news across the metro, and Sky 5 caught it all.
From a bank robbery and more to a bomb scare at a county courthouse and a suspicious letter sent to the U.S. Attorney's Office. We're there live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Paul Folger.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Shambach. We start with that bank robbery and more. It caused local schools to go on lockdown.
We have team coverage tonight. We start with KOCO's Michael Seiden, who has the latest on the hunt for the suspects. Michael?
Well, guys, right now, agents are searching for these two serial bank robbers. It was crazy out here today. Want to give you guys a look at this apartment complex. At one point, we saw FBI agents, some local law enforcement agents. They were going door to door, knocking on doors. At one point, they even got themselves inside one of the apartments looking for these two suspects who remain at large. Tonight, these two men are being called serial bank robbers. The FBI says the armed robbers are now responsible for 4 robberies across the metro. Their latest hit, the IBC Bank on Southwest 19th Street and more. It all happened on Thursday morning.
They were both armed with handguns. They fled the bank. One went west, one went east.
For more than 5 hours, dozens of law enforcement agents, including the FBI and U.S. Marshals, searched for the suspects. They even shut down this apartment complex, forcing tenants like Deborah Holt to wait outside in the heat.
And how does that make you feel to know that there are 2 guys in the area right now who have
I just hope Batman is real.
The manhunt caused local schools to go on lockdown. It also brought traffic to a standstill. Homeowners in the area couldn't believe what they were seeing.
It is crazy, but I have confidence. These guys, they're going to find them pretty quick.
Tonight, police are searching this car. Investigators say it belongs to the suspects, and it may be the key piece of evidence that ends this crime spree. And guys, just before the newscast, spoke with an investigator for more. He told me they're pretty confident that they're going to be able to pull fingerprints off that vehicle. Also, I can tell you for those tenants who had to wait out here in the heat, well, they are back in their cool apartments tonight. Reporting live in more, Michael Seiden, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Thank you, Michael. We now turn to KOCO's Ariel Reshef. And Ariel, schools had to take some extra precautions to protect the kids today.
That's right, Jessica. 4 schools were on lockdown here in Moore this afternoon after that robbery at the bank. Parents say that that was a very scary ordeal, but that they trust the schools to take care of their kids.
I turned on the news and was like, whoa.
Thomas Howe says he was shocked to hear that his kid's school was on lockdown.
Basically that 2 guys robbed a bank and they shut everything down.
And as he drove to pick up his son,
I was going down 164th and saw an unmarked Suburban and came back and saw a plainclothes officer with his, I guess his AK out, or not AK, but AR-15.
A sight he describes as alarming.
It's a little scary. Yeah, I mean, this close to home, this stuff usually doesn't happen on this side of town. So it's concerning.
Families who live in the apartment complexes where police were searching for the bank robbery suspects were asked to pick up their kids. Parents stood in line and waited in their cars as one by one teachers escorted children outside. Thomas commends the school and local law enforcement for acting quickly to protect the kids.
I think the school did a good job locking everything down, and hopefully we can get out of here.
Here at Oak Ridge Elementary, they use the intercom system to call the kids to the front of the school. That's where their parents pick them up. This entire area was just swarmed with cars and parents that arrived to pick up their kids. But thankfully, the teachers were able to clear that in just about 40 minutes. We're live in Moore. Ariel Reshef, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Ariel, thank you very much. Now, the late breaking news does not end there and more. Suspicious letters caused big scares there downtown Oklahoma City this afternoon. KOCO's Kim Passoff is live at the federal courthouse. And Kim, the court got one of those letters as well.
Well, that's right, Paul. A state prisoner from the prison in McAllister actually sent letters to several different government agencies, and those small envelopes caused a big problem. A suspicious substance was inside, the inmate claimed was anthrax.
It's been very crazy down here.
According to the court clerk, the court received an envelope from an inmate. An employee thought it was suspicious and she didn't open it. She called 911. Fire and police responded along with the Marshals Service and collected the unopened letter. About an hour earlier, a letter was opened at the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's just down the street on the 4th floor of the Oklahoma Tower, right next to the library. An inmate sent the letter and wrote that it contained anthrax. Hazmat crews from the fire department, along with the Oklahoma City Police Department and the FBI, responded. The letter was field tested for anthrax. It came back negative. Despite the chaos downtown, many people working didn't even know what was going on.
We didn't even know about it till we got down here, so they're doing a great job.
And in addition to the letters sent to the federal courthouse, the U.S. Attorney's Office, letters were also sent to the FBI office and the federal courthouse in Muskogee. All of the letters have been sent for official testing. Reporting live downtown, Kim Passoff, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Kim, thank you. The FBI has interviewed that inmate who sent the letters, but they are not releasing his name at this time.
A bomb threat shut down the Oklahoma County Courthouse. The Sheriff's Department says the threat came in this afternoon to the Oklahoma City Police Department. Sky 5 flew over the scene as officials shut down roads around the courthouse while they searched the building. Crews did not find anything suspicious.
Late breaking, Cushing police arrested a teenager today for the involvement with recent school threats. Now, these threats were all aimed at Cushing schools. The first came to the middle school, the second to the high school. Now a 16-year-old is under arrest for the threats. Police say the threats were all a hoax. And right now at 6, we are learning what caused a medical helicopter crash that killed 2 people and left a third in critical condition. The Eagle Med helicopter went down back in February in Oklahoma City. A preliminary report from the NTSB shows data from the Eagle Med stopped coming in about 3.5 minutes into that flight. The report also says a man says he saw a flash just before that chopper crashed, and surveillance cameras on a nearby building caught the crash. A full report, though, will not be available for a few months.
Late breaking right now, the governor of North Carolina says an Oklahoma man who's charged in a Florida gambling investigation donated money to his campaign. Governor Pat McCrory says Chase Burns and his wife, who you see here, donated $8,000 to his campaign in October. The couple also donated $28,000 to the North Carolina Republican Party and $119,000 to state legislators. The governor says he has now given his portion to a homeless charity. Today, Burns' legal team spent the day sifting through the charges. KOCO's Naveen Dhaliwal is live tonight with the latest. Naveen?
Well, Jessica, federal authorities tell us that all the software for this gambling ring was in this building right behind this door. Federal agents raided this store 2 days ago. They broke it down. Since then, it has been fixed. Now, the owner of this building, Chase Burns, is facing several charges for his involvement, and today he's under house arrest. Nestled in the Washita River Valley, just west of Anadarko, sits Chase Burns' sprawling ranch. Not a bad place to be confined to as he waits for his next trip to court. The 37-year-old is accused of running the software for a multi-million-dollar illegal internet scheme in Florida.
Good friends, good guy. I think he's innocent. I wouldn't think he'd ever done something like this.
As Burns waits, in Florida, a multi-million-dollar bond for Kelly Mathis, the man considered one of the main players in the elaborate setup. Investigators say he set up internet cafes as casinos, and over 50 people are accused of making illegal profits.
Mathis is not a ringleader. Mathis was the lawyer for organizations who were trying to establish how to legally conduct business.
Federal prosecutors say they made big bucks, but now face big charges, money laundering and racketeering to name a few. Chase Burns' father, also a local attorney, says he's looking at 500 pages of charges from Florida, and he's standing by his son's side.
Well, I certainly believe that my son's innocence out this. I don't think my son has done anything wrong. I think under the guidelines that they have out there, that he just supplied an internet service.
And his father tells us that Chase is very concerned about these charges. He also tells us that he has advised his son not to speak with the media. Live in Anadarko tonight, Naveen Dhaliwal, KLCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Thanks for the update, Naveen. Chase Burns' next court date is in April. Authorities want him extradited back to Florida. Tornadoes and mobile homes, you know, a deadly combination.
The new numbers that show just how vulnerable you are during a storm.
And an Oklahoma mother is seeking justice 2 years after the death of her son.
It's not a witch hunt, it's justice for my boy.
The mystery surrounding his death and how far this mother has gone to get answers.
And right after the break, why public schools in Oklahoma might be forced to allow kids to pray in school.
just turned into a violent stovepipe. It just hit a house.
And then it hit. It is the most horrible experience in your life.
May 20th, 2013, a tornado we'll never forget.
You could hear the people screaming, and we had children in there and all kinds of things, and you heard metal pinging, and you just heard it, and then it stopped.
Tonight, how a grateful community continues to rebuild.
And they just need people to help. I mean, you can see all behind us. Somebody has to help clear this stuff out, and it can't be just the people that live in these homes.
KOCO 5 News at 5 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Schambach.
And I'm Paul Folger.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane.
Today marks 1 month since that devastating tornado tore through Moore. We're live there this evening. Let's start this evening with Paul. We all know, Paul, that it did major damage there.
Boy, Jessica, it really did. You see Moore Medical Center behind me. The place is a total loss. There were about 300 people in there. Amazingly, everyone walked out of there alive in that. But sadly, we know that 24 people did die in this storm, including 10 children. Of course, some of the areas that were hit, 19 different neighborhoods. That included, as behind me, the Moore Medical Center and the Warren Theater just to the south of it. So far, 56,000 tons of debris has been cleared in this so far, but boy, there's a lot of work left to be done. I want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane. And Damon, yeah, this storm really just tore up so much, and it devastated so many things.
Absolutely. You know, again, 1 month later, and of course we're still seeing big piles of debris like this. This was all coming in off of an EF5 tornado. Now, the only known EF5 damage with this tornado actually happened in Briarwood Elementary School. Plaza Towers was actually considered EF4 tornado damage, but still the stats look like this. The path length, it was 17 miles. Winds were over 200 miles per hour with a max width of 1.3 miles. So again, this was a very fast occurring tornado. It developed very rapidly, and still, while it may just be 1 month after the fact, you look around, you see this damage. This is a huge improvement from what we saw about a month ago, but there is still a lot of cleanup that still needs to be done. You can see these piles of debris on the side of the roads just waiting for these large debris removal companies to come in and pick it up. Back to you.
Damon, thank you. You know, we have been looking around for stories that you haven't seen in all of this. And those stories, some of them happened right here inside Moore Medical Center. I want to introduce you to an ER nurse. He helped get people into a safe room here, and he told me when he looked outside and saw this storm coming, he just wasn't sure they would make it.
Well, that day, you know, was kind of trucking along like any other day.
May 20th started like any other for Frankie Orr in the ER at Moore Medical Center, but they all knew to be weather aware.
As you're going along the day, you kept watching the news and the reports.
Then the afternoon came. Hospital leaders called a code black. That meant the most serious mode for the hospital.
And when they started calling code black something, you knew something wasn't going to be right.
They got everyone in place, patients secured in interior rooms, and Frankie looked outside and saw the F5.
It was one of those things where it's just overwhelming for a minute. You're like, wow, we're fixing to get hit, and there's nothing we can do. You could hear the people screaming, and we had children in there and all kinds of things, and you heard metal pinging, and you just heard it, and then it stopped.
Then,
for a minute, everybody's like, we're alive. And then the next concern that you heard all the nurses, my patients, where's my patient?
next, it was get everyone out where they saw all the destruction. Frankie was just grateful to all his co-workers who made sure patients and staff were safe.
Everybody here that day did what they were supposed to do, and by doing that, everybody walked out of this hospital alive.
And boy, you're so thankful that everyone did walk out of there alive. Now, the thing that they're going to do with this building, they're going to demolish it on June 24th. That very day, they're also going to have a remembrance ceremony. You know, another very sad place in all of this is over at Plaza Towers Elementary School. 7 children died there. And days later, the principal and the teachers talked about that day.
We could see the tornado. I kept thinking, I was praying, please, God, have it lift, go a different direction. But it was getting bigger and bigger. In the bathroom, people were quiet. People were screaming. And at that point, I believe that's the only time that I yelled. And I said, in God's name, go away. Go away. I'd said it about 4 times. And then it was gone. The rest of the evening was a nightmare. And what was started off as a normal day at Plaza Towers turned into a horrible, horrible thing for 7 families.
You know, it really was. It is just so sad to hear that and just so heartbreaking in all of that. There is some good news in this, though. We introduced you to a baby that was born that day. That baby's family says that his birth saved their lives. The reason they were in the hospital in Norman, all the while that storm was leveling their house. Rachel Calderon checks in with them a month later.
Well, as you can see, this is moving day for Chad Cox and Jordan Smith. After 4 weeks of living in a hotel, they finally have a place that they can bring baby Riley home.
Oh man, oh this is perfect. I have places for things now.
Moving clothes from storage bins to drawers, knowing which bag has food in it, are things Chad and Jordan will never take for granted.
Whenever we get something, we're trying to write down the names of the people so that we can send them thank you cards.
Baby clothes, diapers, wipes, anything a baby could need came from strangers who learned Riley was born the same day the tornado leveled their home in Moore. Jordan is appreciative, but the fact is she's a first-time mom. That job alone can be overwhelming, especially when you're starting over.
There were a couple times where I know Chad came home late and I was like, okay, you have to watch the baby. I have to go outside and just sit by myself for a second.
But that anxiety is short-lived because despite what they've been through, they try to find a reason to laugh.
He thinks that room service is just part of a normal routine now.
Chad and Jordan decided to start a new tradition. Not only are they going to celebrate Riley's birthday every May 20th, but they're also going to give back to people in need. In Norman, Rachel Calderon, KOCO 5 News.
And boy, there is so much need. You know, that couple, they had only lived in that house that was leveled for about 3 months before that storm came through. So you want to help out. If you haven't been out here, there is a way that you can contribute. You can go to a concert. That's right, Toby Keith's concert, the Tornado Relief Concert. The tickets are going on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. It is going to be July 6th, so that's the big July 4th weekend. It's going to be at OU Memorial Stadium there. And you've got folks like Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Sammy Hagar, just some of the people that are going to be performing that day. It's going to be a very good time, and they're going to raise a lot of money to help a lot of the folks here in Moore. Now at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about some of the lessons that were learned. We were granted exclusive access to emergency managers to a meeting that they had today. We'll be talking about that and some of the response that they're able to give to the victims of these storms. Jess, I'm going to send it back to you for a moment.
So many stories to tell, Paul. Thank you. Now we want to talk about a story out of Norman. Police there trying to figure out who broke into Bob Stoops' mansion. KOCO's Kim Passoff is live there with the latest on this investigation. Kim?
Jessica, right now, police do not have any suspects, but they do know that at least one person managed to get through the gates and inside of the house, all the while that person or persons went undetected.
Most of the time people are not home when a house is burglarized, but in this case somebody actually was home.
Police say the family did not realize someone had been in the house until several hours later. They say that a car was stolen, and so too were several items from the house, but police will not say exactly what was taken because they're worried that could jeopardize the investigation. They will also not say what type of security system is in place or if security cameras capture the crime. Neighbors say they will be more vigilant about protecting their homes after this break-in.
I thought, wow, that's very close and kind of scary. Always set our alarms, have our cameras, and seem to be prepared.
And we did contact Bob Stoops' office for comment, and we're told to contact the university. The university just released a statement saying, quote, Coach Stoops and Carroll appreciate the concern expressed for the family and appreciate the efforts of local authorities who are handling this matter. Live in Norman, Kim Passoff, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, Kim, thank you. Let's get to some breaking news now. Today was the worst trading day of the year on Wall Street. The Dow Jones dropped 353 points. That's just a little more than 2%. Experts say it's because of news that the Federal Reserve could end a massive stimulus program next year, so you may not want to check your 401k right now. Still ahead, minutes of terror. A teenage girl home alone when robbers try to break in. Hear how she reacts with danger just around the corner. And scary moments, shattered glass as you see here, a wrecked car as well. Why it's taking extra time to pick up the pieces at a Metro Community College.
And today is the last day of spring. Temperatures will be climbing as we head into summer. I'll show you when the 100s will arrive coming up.
And Sky 5 is over the scene of what is left of a police chase. You can see the car right here. It started at Ayers and University. There were 2 people in the car when this chase started.
Yeah, this is in Edmond. We understand that this chase went around the city. It actually got onto a highway at one point, and a guy got out of that vehicle there and took off on foot at 33rd and Coltrane. A police officer was actually hit in the face with a tree branch during all of this. Officers also had to use a taser to get that suspect into custody. And we understand that the suspect hit a Cox Communications van along the way. Now, police are saying they just got a passenger out of the car, a female, and they are saying that that vehicle is stolen. So an active scene right now there in Edmond. The chase started at Ayers and University. The guy took off at 33rd and Coltrane. We will keep you posted with any new info.
Sky 5 above that scene. Also breaking right now at 5. This is an absolute shocker. An Oklahoma man in jail arrested for killing his wife.
In just the last hour, we have learned from court documents that this husband says he was granting his wife's wishes. KOCO's Naveen Dhaliwal is live tonight in Crescent. Naveen?
Just in the last 5 minutes, we received documents that Mark Shem admitted to killing his wife in their home right behind me where they lived with their son. Mark says his wife asked him to kill her, and according to the court documents, he granted her wish. Mark Shem sits in jail tonight, and family and friends remain in shock.
Last night we was up here when all the cops come up, and supposedly it was we heard that it was a robbery, but they wouldn't let us know whose house it was, and they shut it all off.
Today, things are quiet at this home that sits at the end of the street. But last night, deputies responded to a robbery. When they looked around, they knew things didn't add up. Officers aren't releasing too many details, but they do say this: a woman is dead, and Shem is responsible. An outcome no one here expected.
It always seemed great when we went over there. We just went to a cookout maybe 2 weeks ago.
Police are not commenting right now, but court documents are telling quite a surprising story. OSBI detectives say Mark Shem admitted to killing his wife. He told them she was diagnosed with a brain tumor and had been receiving chemotherapy. A short time after that, she fell and suffered a brain injury. That injury, coupled with her tumor, left her handicapped. Now, Shem told detectives that she had been, quote, begging him to kill her for some time now, and she even tried to commit suicide. Shem claims he told her he would agree to kill her and did it while she was napping by putting a plastic bag over her head and suffocating her. Of course, this is the story we have right now. Paul and Jessica will have more on this coming up in our 6 o'clock newscast. Reporting live from Crescent tonight, Naveen Dhaliwal, KOCO 5 News.
Well, lots of new information just coming in. Naveen, thank you. Want to update some more late breaking news. Fire erupts at the Shack. Sky 5 was first to show you the pictures there of this popular restaurant. KOCO's Patty Moon joins us now live. Patty, do we know at this point how it started?
Well, Jessica, firefighters have not pinpointed the exact cause yet, but they say an explosion definitely started all of this. We're going to pan over and show you in the parking lot. There are actually 2 pieces left of whatever it was that exploded earlier this afternoon. Firefighters say that this may have been either a propane tank or a water heater. Now, we want to show you some video that we shot earlier this afternoon. Take a look. Firefighters had to work quickly to get this under control. Much of the back of this building was up in flames, and we actually saw firefighters having to break off part of the roof of this building. Now, we spoke to a woman who was inside the restaurant with a friend enjoying her birthday lunch. She said they heard a loud boom and then felt the building shake. Shortly after, she and 49 other people who were inside had to get out of there.
You could just see customers, everyone kind of looking at each other, and then very quickly the staff came out and said everybody out now. So they did a good job of getting us out safely.
And today is Michelle's 51st birthday. She says this one is likely one she'll never forget. Now, nobody was hurt who was inside the restaurant, and no firefighters were hurt today. But coming up at 6, we're going to be talking with firefighters about why this particular fire was so difficult to fight today. For now, reporting live, Patty Moon, KOCO 5 News.
Patty, thank you. Glad no one was hurt. This is also late breaking. This is a murder investigation. It is happening right now in southeast Oklahoma City. KOCO's Kim Passoff is live near Sunny Lane and I-40. And Kim, one person's already dead.
Well, Paul and Jessica, it was here in the 400 block of Tinker Diagonal, just off of I-40 around 2 p.m. when shots rang out in broad daylight here at this apartment complex. You can see that there are still shell casings here on the sidewalk. When police arrived, they found one man was dead. Neighbors were outside observing, and a short time after that, in southeast Oklahoma City, a separate call of a shooting victim came in. That person was transported to Presbyterian Hospital in serious condition. Now, police are investigating the 2 incidents as possibly related. Police are at both scenes at this time. The motive for both of these shootings is still undetermined. Police say they are not identifying either victim, but they do say that the man who died here was a resident of the apartment complex. One of his family members was checked out in an ambulance after finding out about his death, and his mother broke down in tears and made this plea.
Please call the homicide detective. That was my child that got killed today. That's not right.
And police took her away before she could say anything else. They do tell us they expect to release the names of both victims tomorrow. Live in southeast Oklahoma City, Kim Passoff, KOCO 5 News.
Boy, so much going on right now, Kim. Breaking now as well, a new warning about the heat. EMSA issued a heat alert for the metro. So far, they tell us they've responded to 6 heat-related emergencies. Paramedics say temps or the heat index are so high right now that it can be dangerous if you're working or playing outside and you just aren't careful, so watch out.
The medical examiner says a child is the 22nd victim of the May 31st storms. Crews pulled the girl's body from the Oklahoma River. KOCO's Ariel Reshef is live with some new information. Ariel?
Paul, we're standing here at the Oklahoma River Dam. We're just between Western and Walker right now. This is where 3 bodies of the members of the Shrum family were recovered earlier on. Now, after days of an intense search, yesterday, as you mentioned, another body was recovered here. Today, the medical examiner confirmed that they have received the body of a little girl, and the Shrum family was called to the office to identify that child, but unfortunately, they were not able to positively ID her yet. They say the wait is agonizing.
Right now, I know of 3 being verified that's been found, and we've got 2 still out there. We haven't got. They found one, but it has not been verified. But Lexi May, the 6-month-old, is still out there somewhere to be found.
Can't help but feel for that family. Coming up tonight at 6, what the Shrum family says they need most right now. We're live at the Oklahoma River. Ariel Reshef, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, Ariel, thank you. And breaking news again. Police say 4 people are dead in a murder-suicide shooting in St. Louis. One of the dead, that is, 2 are men, 2 are women. Police say it happened inside a business on a street lined with antique shops. Officers have not released the identity of the shooter.
Also, a state of emergency has just been issued for Colorado. Look at this. Explosive wildfires are causing evacuations. This is the Colorado Springs area. 360 homes have been destroyed by the raging fire right there, and thousands more are in danger. It is already being called the most destructive in the state's history.
And making headlines today, one person is dead after this chemical plant near Baton Rouge exploded. Look at the smoke trail off of that and the flames. 73 others have been treated at area hospitals there. At least one person we know is in critical condition and 2 others are serious.
We was passing by on a delivery. We saw big flames in the air shooting up. Next, we looked over, the whole unit was engulfed in flames.
At this point, officials are still investigating. The plant houses highly flammable gases.
One of Oklahoma's favorite sons, Toby Keith, is hosting his own benefit concert for storm victims. His Oklahoma Twister Relief concert is set for Saturday, July 6th at the University of Oklahoma's Memorial Stadium. It starts at 3 p.m. Garth Brooks and wife Tricia Yearwood will perform. Toby Keith flew to Moore the day after the tornado struck, and we asked him about the devastation.
So flying back in today to Norman, I could see the devastation. They took us out of aviation traffic, circled us around, so I got to see it. Cameras can't touch. If you know those, if you know those streets like the back of your hand when you're flying over, it's just level like this stuff. It's just awful.
Tickets go on sale Friday, June 21st. They are $25. An Oklahoma company messed up an important part of the Special Olympics.
Why spell check could have stopped that big mistake and why those affected are laughing it off tonight.
Gay Scout leaders tonight, local leaders are speaking out why they're supporting the ban.
Steamy across the state again today. Triple-digit heat in places like Enid and Altus. But one way to break the heat